your standing spot. Here we go. Yeah, Juan's starting the live stream. And if anyone's joining us on streaming, well, God bless you. That's awesome. I'm happy we're here together online. And we have a delicate theme going that is the theme of forgiveness. And, the more we sort of look at it, well, we'll just look at it in the practice. We'll work with forgiveness. Here comes Diana again. Good. So we're going to start in standing, and you can just be standing on however you can. And of course, if you can't, then you could be seated or lying down even, because it'll all work. Yeah, and let's just start to bring our awareness into the body. And of course, some of our awareness was probably already in the body. But we might hear each other say sometimes, I felt like I left my body, right? Like you're just not inhabiting the body. And one of the things we know we're meant to do is take care of this mind-body instrument. We know that it responds well to care, like all life forms. It responds well to our kind energy, right? So we're starting out kind of with forgiveness toward ourselves, which let's just feel into what forgiveness might be like if you were just going to forgive yourself today, just what that might be. Don't reach for it, just kind of feel into forgiveness, maybe doing a little rocking back and forth, like forgiving yourself. We'll start with that. And of course, forgiveness is kind of a concept, right? But the energy would be one of warmth, yeah? Warmth extending and heartfulness extending. Yeah, and it's going to lead us back. I'll just say it's going to lead us back into the body, right? Because the body is our way, our vehicle for being in the present, right? Through these sense doors. So it's going to lead us back into the body, this forgiveness of ourselves, this forgiveness of the world, of everything, right? A kind of letting go and a kind of showering, ultimately a kind of showering of loving qualities in all directions, right? Like the Buddha or the Christ, like a shining being, just radiating love. And this is regardless of circumstance, right? That's the crazy thing, right? So let's move a little bit while we explore these energies, right? Really, it is just tuning into these energies. Let's inhale and open our arms just wide a little bit, right? So a generosity of breath right into the body as you just bring your arms across your chest to exhale. So there's an opening right in the front of the body, and we're going to be gentle about it, not really stretching, but opening the throat and the heart and the inside of the arms to the sun, just to the light. And then exhale. And as we do this, we can let the spine move a little bit, right? So as we inhale, we can kind of open the body into a little bit of a back arch, and we're squeezing the back of the body. And then exhale, we'll just make a gentle round. We can just allow our own breath to cause us to open like a bird soaring. And then exhale to squeeze a little bit as you hug the front. And take one more and stay in the open position for a few breaths, inhabiting this spaciousness in the front of the body with presence, with kind awareness, gentle presence. Good. Now let's take a little bow, again, bringing the hands to the front of the body and just bowing the chin. Let's let the front of the body squeeze as we just bend our knees and take a slight bow. Yeah, so you're going to just inhale back up to standing. So this is just a gentle, even forward bend, right? Even on the feet, maybe bending the knees, bowing like you're at Carnegie Hall. Just played your violin. Now, what happens if we open the arms wide as we fold or as we come up? And how about we bring them to the lower back as we bow? Let's take a little pause. We'll do another round in a moment, but pause in standing. Yeah, just with the crown of the head toward the sky and the chin toward the chest. Just tuning into what's present today, what kind of energies are being known through your senses. Of course, this is emotions and thoughts and sensations, right? Smell and taste and all of that, just coming into the present through the senses, especially through the sense of sensation, right? The body, sense of the body, just feeling into the body with some deep compassion, right? Really making sure our attitude is one of a really kind and generous holding. Now let's take that forward bend again, right? Just because it's nice to do these in these little gentle sets, right? So we'll hold a little bit. I like to put the hand on the belly. It helps me to kind of, I don't know, just remind me of what's going on here. Now, when you come up, see if you can open through the belly a little bit, right? So you're just going to relax the belly as you come up. And it could be a little back bend, right? And then exhale, we're going to just bow. Inhale, we'll come on up. The arms can go wide or they could come higher up. And then exhale, just bow again. So we're really feeling into the front and the back. Once more, inhale, come up. Just arms wide. Stay for a moment. I'm going to do a little muting to take out any background noise. Yeah. Cool. You can always unmute if you want to say something. Good. Now let's come into a lunge. Let's come into warrior one. I'm going to turn my mat because I feel like it'll be better if I'm this way. Oh, yeah, that works. I see I can only get so far with this blurred background and I start to sink into the background, but that's interesting, right? So let's step the right foot back. So you've got your left knee bent and your right leg long. Right? It's in this warrior one lunge. Now the tendency is to lean forward often in this lunge, but we don't really need to. We come into like, it's a little back bend, isn't it? Just to be up straight, there's a back bend happening here. So we want to be careful with this and make sure it's not too much, but it's really important, right? Because we sit a lot in our culture. So it's really important to give some squeeze to this back area and to open the front. So let's see how it feels like to exhale and lengthen the front leg and inhale and just relax into the in-breath. You might like to have your hands out wide. I'm kind of enjoying having hands on my abdomen, right? Exhale, you can lengthen the leg. And we'll just draw from the crown of the head, just straight up. And then exhale, we'll keep that length through the crown of the head and we might go deeper in the stance. Let's do this once more. So you can inhale, right? So we're facing toward that left leg and then exhale. Warrior one, right? So arms can go up. You could take a little back bend, right? Lengthening upward. It's such a powerful lunge. Good. And when you're ready, just step on up again. And let's take that forward bend, right? Just to kind of ease the back. So again, we'll establish this awareness of front and back, and we'll fold a little bit. We're just pausing in the forward bend. And then inhale, let's bring the arms wide. Let's bring the arms up to cactus pose. Yeah, this background is weird. I have to unblur. It's messing with our, it's messing with you being able to see me. Hang on, I have to go back here to switch it. Unblur, there we go. Good, so this beautiful cactus pose, I'm gonna pin myself again, but we'll get back to that. This beautiful cactus pose, right, with the elbows at shoulder height, and you've got your right foot back in warrior one. Again, just stepping that same foot back again for a moment. All right, so here you are. I can come back now. Here you are, warrior one. Elbows at shoulder height. Now, what's it like when you raise your arms up versus shoulder height with the elbows? Try that for a few breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Making space, right? We're making space in the front of the body, squeezing the back just a bit. Once more. You might want to hold in the up position. Once you feel ready to step forward again. And just pause. Again, just establishing that neutral standing position. Okay. Let's step the other foot back now. So now it'll be your left foot in warrior one. And this could be holding a chair, holding the wall, but this powerful lunging is so good for us. You could do this while you're standing in the grocery line, I find. If you have enough room, you can step back into a nice warrior one, right? And so your hips and chest are facing this front foot. And then we'll just play into the lunge a little bit, right? Inhaling. Feeling the hips, right, and exhaling, maybe lengthening the leg, right? And we could use the arms, right, if we feel ready to. Right, lunging in, moving in and out of the lunge. Now we did 2 sets of this, and it's a really nice way to practice, right, to do sets of things. If you've ever practiced, right, the Ashtanga practice or other practices, right, you can work in these little sets. And it's a really kind and beautiful way, right, to work with the postures. Good, so see where you'd like to put your arms in warrior one. And when you're ready, step forward. And we'll take that easy little forward bend. This time, instead of going up and down, just take a forward bend where you can hold in the forward position for a little bit. Maybe a wide stance, maybe a narrow stance. We'll just let the breathing regulate, right? Let the breath drop into the body. Right, and so any sensation that is being known that the mind might have problem with, right? Just noticing that, because isn't that a place where we can bring some forgiveness, bring that generosity, generous warmth into say, I really have in this moment no control over. I can't control how I feel, right? What I can do is drop right into direct connection to the sensation with a kindness, harnessing a really beautiful, honestly cherishing divine kindness, really harnessing this from the sky, from the earth, from all directions, letting this divine energy move into all parts of the body, because this is where the sensations live, right? Or they seem to anyway, right? So this is what we're connecting to through the felt sense. So coming up from your forward bend, let's do one more warrior one with this left foot back. This time with our arms in that cactus pose, right? Right, so they're nice and shoulder height, and we're going to bring them up and down. We'll just bring them arms up, just lengthening and resting at shoulder height. Inhale. So this is just a beautiful way to come into the hips and resting. Yeah, in the present moment, right? Direct contact. Good. Now coming up to standing. Let's take that forward bend again, whichever style you like. And you might be like, oh, I have to sit at this point. And you could, but taking a forward bend with the sit bones up in the air and the head hanging. Good. Now we're going to take a little bit more standing postures because they're so important for the health of everything, right? And for strength. And so let's come up gently. Yeah, and just pause for a moment in standing. We're going to bring our feet wide again. And let's take, before we take another lunge, let's take this beautiful twist that I learned from Delia, right? So we'll just go like this. We'll inhale our arms up. We're going to just turn to the left. And then exhale, bend the knees and sweep the arms back to center. Good. Turn to the right. Exhaling. Coming back to center. Inhaling. Turn to the left. Good. And exhaling, sweeping back to forward. So we can bend the knees. Good. Exhaling as we make the twist. Inhaling as the arms come up. Exhaling as we make the twist. Really nice. Good. Now take the arms out wide at shoulder height and take the feet out wide. So here you are, you're set up for your warrior two, right? Arms wide. Good. Stay for a moment and see if you can sense into the toes and heels, the long side of the foot, the short side of the foot. Good. And let's just turn the face to the left. And sensing into the shoulders. And back to center. Can we do that again? Just face to the left. Good. And then face back to center. Just touch the tops of the shoulders. Good. Inhale, just palms open. And exhale, just touch the tops of the shoulders. Good. Now take inhale, arms straight up and touch the back of the neck. Good. And take the arms wide again. Let's come into warrior two. If you want to rest the arms for a moment, feel free to. We're going to turn the left toes outward. We'll bring the arms back up with the breath. So we'll put the left heel under the left knee. So we're in this wide hips facing the long side of your mat. Right, the arms will come up wide like a T. And then turning just the head to the left. All right, so wide open to the side, straight up through the spine, soft through the arms. Good, you could lengthen the leg and bend it. You could just stay still in the pose. Or you could certainly move the arms to reflect the breath, maybe touching the shoulders, maybe opening them up again, maybe once more. Good, and coming back. Let's, in between the other side, before we go to the other side, let's, without hitting any furniture, let's swing our arms. So find a really stable stance and just going up to shoulder height, just breathing naturally with your eyes fixed softly. Even a little sighing here is really nice. Ha ha. Some sound making. In a moment, we'll do a little bit of humming together. Ha ha. Just letting the arms swing. Liberating the arms from all seriousness. Letting them play a bit. Letting them swing. As long as it's okay for you. Good. And then letting the arms, I'd say take the swinging into your holidays, but watch out for furniture and glassware. But it's really nice to do outside, right? Get some nice air, swing the arms. Find some Tai Chi groups outside. Good. Let's take Warrior Two on the other side. Just feeling the effects of the arms swinging. Right, centered in the present through the sense doors. What could be better, really? You want to be lost in memory, lost in pain and suffering? No. We want to gain energy, draw energy from the earth and sky, which the body is a part of, right? And divine intelligence, right? Through purifying through this practice, right? So let's come out here again. Right, and I mean purifying by, like, we build this heat. There's a certain heat we build, right, when we hold these postures. So just holding the arms up for a few breaths, you start to build a little heat, right? There starts to be a little focus, little focused energy, and adding some gentleness to it. I can just see what rises up and be with it really kindly. Right, be with it really kindly because it's, well, part of what is mine to take care of. It's coming into this home of the present moment. It's entering in, it wants to be known. I'm the only one who can know it directly, this sensation in the body. Let's turn the face to the right. Good, and then let the arms come down and let's turn the right toes outward, right? So staying with this awareness of what's to be known through the sensations as we come into Warrior Two, right? So a real caretaking of this that is to be known, mind, emotions, thoughts, emotions, sensations, experiences, direct experiences, to be known, to be held, to be observed, right? Not to be swept into, as they are remnants of the past. So how's your Warrior Two feeling? Can you feel how it can open up? Lots of space in the hips and in the back. Right, but we do this slowly and carefully, right? So bringing the feet back together. Oh, let's pause again. Good, now in continuing with making that easy space in the belly and in the hips, right? We're inviting in this generosity. We'll perch an ankle, either one, on top of your opposite knee and just take a little seat, an imaginary seat. And then inhale, let's bring our arms up as we put the foot down. Let's try the other side. Right, so exhale, it's just a little seat. You're going to take palms open. And then inhale, come down as slowly too. Could you go up on your tiptoes for a moment? Like Barbie? Boy. Yeah, come down again. Let's come back one more time. Except this time, let's come into our regular tree pose. So instead of perching the ankle on top, attach it to your leg, low at the ankle or high on the upper leg. You can dance with the wind a bit too, but standing on one leg, oh, so stimulating, right? For this space. Whatever is arising is nature, phenomenon of nature, cause and effect. Changing and changing. Good, come down when you're ready, more slowly than I did, right? It's nice if you can go nice and easy, and then stand on 2 feet. Let's try the other side. Good. Let's try the other side of tree pose. So nice and easy with the eyes. And that reminds me, we'll do some eye exercises today. Because, you know, part of this balance is our vestigial system, the balance that is the eyes, the ears, the brain. So when we're working, you know, it's not just the leg, you're working this system that goes all the way into your brain, right? And you could, you know, turn your head and work it even a little harder, but you might not need that challenge. We can do it a different way. But feeling the effects all the way up into your brain and eyes of balancing, so powerful, so necessary for our wellness. People like you and I created these yoga postures, you know, just felt into them to keep this mind-body systems well. It's a folk art, right? An indigenous, intuitive folk art that is woven into pretty much every rooted spiritual tradition. This care for the body. Left out of some, but suspiciously, right? Probably taken out during times where we liked to declare the body as evil, right? But that seems not wise, right? Good. So did we do both sides? I think you did, but why don't you take another pass at it, at tree pose, one more time. So hopefully you can feel how the trunk of the body really just adores these lunges, these balances. I feel like let's do one more balance after you've taken your time on each side. Let's do warrior 3. So we did 1 and 2, this is 3. It's like an arabesque, right? Where your head goes forward and your leg goes back. You might want to balance on something, a chair, or you might just want to give it a go. So it is nice and even, right? It's like head goes one way, leg goes the other. Try the other side. Try it once more, each way. You could use your arms wide. Coming up as slowly as you go in, and when you're ready, yeah, do once more on each side. Beautiful, so powerful. Give your lower back a little rub. Take some nice, deep, easy breaths. Good. So we're going to work our way down to the floor, passing through kneeling. And what did I want to say about that? I don't know. So hopefully you can come down to the floor, and hopefully my battery is not going to run out. I think it'll be fine. Okay, I just noticed it's low, but I think it'll be fine. So we're going to come through kneeling, and you want to make sure when you come through kneeling that you have enough padding for your knees, because you might have injured knees, or probably if you have knee replacements, you're not going to want to kneel. I don't really know, but people tell me it doesn't work so well for most people, but I don't know if that's for everyone. But if we can kneel, a forward bend here on the knees will be so nice, so kind for the spine, right? So let's just pause here and we feel the crown of the head, the base of the spine, our connection. So much happening right inside the body. So much too. We could say forgive, we really can, because forgiveness, right? We're meeting everything with a beautiful, buoyant presence. Good. Let's try inhaling our arms out wide. Right, so we want to be kind of square here, knees about hip width. And we're going to just fold forward. I always think of this as like looking into a lake or a pond, where I'm on the edge of a lake and I'm looking in, bringing my nose right down to the water. But I don't want to fall in, so I have to keep my weight grounded right in the hips. And then coming up to arms overhead. And then exhale, just let the arms come down. So we can vary this a bit, inhaling our arms up, and then folding forward, taking your face to one side as you fold. And then inhaling, coming back to upright. Taking your face to the other side as you fold. Inhale, back to upright. Good. Once more, exhale, maybe forehead toward the floor. Good. Pausing for a breath or two, and then coming to hands and knees. So just sensing into what is to be known now, what the mind and the heart are knowing now, and holding that really bravely. Really generously, really cultivating that, right? Because these are qualities that we're designed to cultivate, right? Turn your fingers outward for a few breaths. See what it's like to turn them outward. Yeah, turning your head. Yeah, we're designed to create good vibes. We're designed to create good, loving action. That's what we're designed for, right? Everything else is the past, potentially the future, but we're designed to channel grace. That's what we're designed for, and that's what we feel best doing. Yeah. So take one leg straight back and float it up. And it takes work because these bodies are holding a lot and they're in contact with a whole lot. So it takes work to cultivate, right? Loving kindness, grace in every moment. Yeah. And this is our strength building. This is our kind of boot camp where we practice while we move and the body gets therapy, and we're just practicing the same thing all the time. Loving kindness, happiness, joy for each other, a calmness and evenness that allows for all these qualities to inhabit. Bring the knee down. Yeah, let's try the other side. Yeah, leg back. And floating up. Yeah, and just a general love, right? An unconditional love we're cultivating while we practice. It's simple, really simple commitment. Good, and when you're ready, bring that leg back down. Good, let's turn the hands forward. And we're gonna come up, if we can, to downward dog. Lifting the hips. You can inhale back to your knees and come up again if you've got it in you. A couple times. You can try a little shifting of weight or even lifting of one hand. Yeah, and coming back to maybe a little child pose, resting your hips back and your head down, or if that doesn't work, just head down. Hips up is great too. Good, and then let's come up to seated for a moment. Right, just in whatever way you can. Yeah, let's just turn the head to the right. We're going to just take care of the body a bit here in seated. And if a chair is better, that would work too. Just turning your head side to side. Right, the bodies really absorb a lot, right? They really do, and we can control some of that. But even if you're in a monastery, right, your body's carrying a lot. Yeah, come back to center. And from the nose, let's just make some little circles, right? As if you were drawing right from the tip of your nose. And you're going to go one way and then the other. Just see how that is a little bit, just drawing from the nose. See if big circles are possible, or if there's a place where the circle's just a little harder to, or a little stuck. And see if that's an area you could just explore for a moment. As the head is part of this body, isn't it? Right, so just exploring, oh, this part of the circle could use a little extra attention. Good, now, can we do a little twist? Can we take our legs forward and then swing or slide them both over to, let's say, the left, and we'll kind of rest with our knees bent for a moment. Yeah, so let's say you're facing your right knee with your hands on the ground. Can you make a little arch in your spine, sending your belly toward your right knee? Right, like a little arch spine, your left hip lifts a bit, and then exhale, just kind of round back. So it's that spinal flexing again. And we could do it with our hands on the floor, or we could do wide arms like a swan boat. And then resting back. Take that again. Arching forward, right heart forward. Resting into the hips. Exhale. Good. Just pausing. And now can you just turn and look toward your back foot, your left foot? Maybe bring your right hand over to your left leg, just turning to the left. And then gently, gently turning to the right. I like to kind of lift my hands up sometimes so I know I'm not over relying, in the sense of leaning into them instead of letting the muscles of the core of the body, hold me up. Good, so come on back. Let's bring our legs to the front and we'll go the other way. Right, so we'll bring the legs over to the right. And we'll just send the heart in the direction of the left knee. So we're opening, coming into the space of the heart, right? Space of the belly. Letting the front of the body kind of open while the back squeezes, and the hands could be on the floor or they could be floating, right? They can float wide and release. Wide and release. And wide. Good, now stay and with hands in prayer position, let's turn to the right slowly. And then to the left slowly. Good, and we're gonna come down to the ground. Actually, first though, let's do the eye exercises. So we circled the nose, but now let's just do a little treatment for the eyes. So sit however you like for a moment or stand and just let your eyes go up toward the sky, but really gently, without force, and then down toward the ground. Right, looking way down. So they're just gonna go gently up without moving the head too much. And then the eyes go down. So you can feel how the eye muscles, wow, they can use the same kind of squeezing and releasing and moving. Up and down. You could try faster. And then let the eyes come to rest. And let's go left and right. Right, so toward your left ear, toward your right ear. And gently all the way, slowly across. All the way across. All the way across. Can you do a few more if you do it really gently? All the way across. And all the way across. So those are the eye exercises. There's more of them, but that's enough for today. Come back to center. Rub your hands together. Just create a little warmth in the hands. And then cup the hands over your eyes for a moment. Just let your forehead, your brain, your eyes relax. Good. And we're going to come down to the ground. Let's lie on the belly first. Let's come into a little cobra pose. And then we'll roll over in a moment onto the back so you can kind of come down. Yeah, and so you can put your forehead right down on the ground for cobra pose. And we'll put our hands flat right next to the chest, elbows in close. And you can already feel with the elbows in, there's a certain amount of work happening. But let's see what happens when we just lift the face. And then exhale and just put the forehead back down relaxing the back when we do that. In breath, coming up. Out breath, coming down. Good in breath coming up. Yeah, without pushing into the hands. Out breath coming down. Now let's see what happens when we bend the right knee. Right, see what. And then we come slowly down. Let's see what happens when we bend the left knee. Or the other knee. And let's try on this next one, bending both knees. Now this is a good amount of work, right? You've squeezed a lot of things, you've moved into the body pretty intently. So let's come down and let's have you come into final resting position. And if you'd like for that to be with your legs lifted, that's a wonderful thing, right? So if you want to put your legs up the wall or have them rest on a chair, that would be great. And if you'd like to rest on your back, that's perfect too. So you can come into resting position. And so similarly, we're just remaining in the present moment, attending for this body, but in a different way now, just through stillness and really some real rest, stillness and rest. So see if you want to turn the hands palms open and staying present and even making the commitment to remain awake while you rest can be really helpful. So let's take some deep breaths. Let's take a deep, soft in breath and an equal length out breath. And then just resume some natural breathing. Yeah, just making a bit of a little commitment to this corpse pose and this little miniature yoga nidra where we'll bring our awareness through the body, right? So again, take a long in breath and equal length out breath. And then resume natural breathing. And one more time, a long in breath, an equal length out breath, and natural breathing. Good, and just centering your awareness in just the sense of the whole body, the body as a whole. Right, so like as if you were like, I don't know, a gingerbread cookie, just cut out the whole body, the space around the body. And noticing how little effort it takes to be aware and awake, right? Not a lot of effort, just the tiniest bit of effort. So let's just coax our awareness to come up to the crown of the head. Just see if awareness can inhabit the crown of the head. Just kind of touching into, visiting, getting to know sensation in the crown of the head, just touching in. And then moving to the ears and the face. So this isn't a long visit, this is just, making, present awareness and sensations of the face. with a gentle, non-reactive kind of greeting for whatever we meet, just inhabiting. And then throat, neck, base of the skull. So again, just remaining, just that little bit of energy it takes to remain aware. Sensation in the base of the neck, the throat, and now the shoulders. Let's do arms one at a time. So let your awareness come from your right shoulder to your right armpit, to your right upper arm, to your right elbow, right forearm, right wrist, just touching into the right hand, right fingers, right bones of the hand. What those sensations are like. Just knowing sensations in the arm and the hand. And then taking awareness back up the right arm to the neck, skull again, brain and eyes. And now over to the left shoulder, left armpit, left upper arm, left elbow, left forearm, left wrist, left hand and palm, fingertips. This left arm, working your way back up the left arm with just this little bit of energy it takes to remain aware and awake. Working your way down the spine from the neck through the chest. So sensing the upper chest, right, where the shoulders become the chest. And then into the heart, chest, lungs, just touching in. So gentle, curious. We'll visit down into the abdomen, the belly, the lower back, pelvis and hips. Yeah, and just noticing, gentle awareness, just the kind of awareness you could keep going all day, right? A kind of gentle presence that's generating well-being, right? In that it's consistent but gentle. No striving, right? No straining. No reacting against, right? I mean, it happens, but we notice when it does, and we see if we can really hold sensations well, generously, kindly, accepting them right just as they are. Let's move our awareness down into the belly again, belly and hips, tailbone. Resting into awareness of the tailbone and pelvis. And then letting awareness inhabit each leg, the right leg first, going from pelvis to right hip, right knee, right calf and shin, right ankle, right heel, right arch of the foot, right ball of the foot, all the right toes. And taking awareness from the right toes up to the left hip. So up to the top of the left leg. Direct awareness directly with sensation. Just left hip, left knee. It's like you don't need the English language, right, to contact. You don't need any language, right, to contact the left knee and hip. I mean, to know what it is, you do, but to come in direct contact to the body. You know, for me to point to it, we do, but for you to know it, to know the sensation directly, you don't really need language. You can just bypass language, go directly to knowing through the sense door. All the way down to the ankle and the foot. You know, noticing what kind of sensations you tend to, if you do, react against. You know, what kind of sensations cause me to really want to change them. Probably the more difficult ones. Good. Now let's let our awareness come up the center line of the body, like up from the toes, up through the insides of the knees, up to the pelvis, up to the abdomen. So we're kind of coming up the front, the soft side of the body, up into the lungs and ribs. And then let's let our awareness rest in the belly, the ribs, and the heart for a few minutes. The belly, the ribs, the heart, just inhabiting. In the present moment. Just letting your nourishing energies cultivate, connecting with all nourishing energies, all throughout time and space, right? Drawing on all goodness, all peacefulness, all love and nourishment. In the present moment. And you can stay here to finish the practice for another 2 or 3 minutes. Or if you'd like to spend the last 2 or 3 minutes in seated practice or standing practice, that might suit you better. I'm going to come up to seated just so I can see you. So rolling over to one side or coming up really gently or staying in lying down. Just being the kind observer, the cherishing presence in another position. Right, from standing to seated to lying down, the same practice of caring for what is, holding with grace ourselves and one another in everything we do or don't do. Let's take a minute or two of silence together. So thanks everyone for cultivating this right-mindedness together, right? This beauty, kindness, generosity that is ours to cultivate. That's what we make, right? The earth makes everything else for us, all our clothing, all our food, all our buildings. But what we make is loving kindness, patience, care. That's what we are here to make, right? So thank you for cultivating that within, and we'll keep cultivating this together wherever we go, right? Moving through what is. So thanks for your
Hola.
Hola.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Dile gracias.
Asha.
Dile gracias. Gracias. Gracias.
Asha.